June 6th. It's been a long day. I'm in Gabon and it's about 10:30 p.m. local time. It was about a 12-hour flight from New York to Gabon, and my flight got in at about 8 p.m. local time, which was about 3 p.m. New York time. I had to be at the airport at about 1 a.m. to make my flight, but it was all right because I was able to catch up on some much needed sleep after the last couple of days. These company jets sure are something. Plenty of room, and I woke up to espresso and mimosas. Well, after a quick landing, I got dinner in the hangar with the crew. Pretty standard protocol. Introductions, quick briefing details. I don't think there will be any problems. It was actually kind of funny. I brought back some Fosters from my bodega and had the kitchen serve it to the crew. They loved it. It was kind of funny. I had to fight back a laugh or two every time they said something about being excited to see Australia. Anyways, everything seems to be in order, and we've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. End of audio log 5.
Yo, what is up, you guys? It's your boy Brandon, and I'm back here for another episode of the Sticky Buttons Pod.
And this is Blake, man. What's going on, party people?
Let's get this party started, man. Let's get this show on the road, as some might say.
Let's do it, man. Do you just want to jump right in and talk about this week's topic?
Let's do it. Let's talk about this Google game.
So, yeah, this week we're talking about the Google game Doodle Champion Island of Games. And this is if you saw it on Google, it's just like the little, I don't know, like it's had like a little logo and a little play sign. You can just click on it and boom, you're in an RPG.
Very mobile, like you play it on the internet. I was playing it on my phone on the browser. It's a very, very convenient game. You can play it pretty much anywhere as long as you have internet.
Yeah, it's really cool. So basically, like, you know how like Google, sometimes when you type in Google, it'll pop up like they'll have like a decal or kind of like a sticker. I guess they call them doodles, like Google Doodles, I guess. And like, so like for certain events, they'll have like the Google Doodle. And this time they have put a game in there. And it was super rad, man. And I guess for context, they did this for the 2021 Olympics. I guess was it 2020 Olympics for Tokyo that got postponed to now?
Yeah.
Well, it's the Summer Olympics out here, so which honestly it's been really cool. Have you been following it at all?
I have been following kind of like the Simone Biles kind of situation there. Yeah. As far as like the athletes competing, I have such a busy schedule these days. I can't really follow it as much as I used to.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also like a time delay too. So like we were watching something that was aired like just as like a family, and we were watching something and we were all like, yeah, like this person's gonna win. Like I saw it on Twitter, but it was like a stunning performance. But yeah, man, I've actually been watching a ton. Like the first day, I think I watched some rugby, some swimming. Oh, the archery, dude. The archery was lit. Man, have you ever seen them compete in archery?
No.
Oh, dude, it's like a team. And I guess like as soon as you pull back, I guess like you have like 3 seconds to shoot. And it was just crazy, man. It was just like ace after ace after ace. And man, I think like the one that I was watching, because I think they have like a couple different types of events, but the one that I was watching was like Japan versus Korea. And it was just so cool. Like they took us so seriously. And I was like, this is rad. That's awesome. And I think I saw some dude win it like skeet or something. And yeah, I saw a lot of gymnastics, a lot of the swimming. Oh, there's like the girl that does like the freestyle for America. I don't remember. I think it's like Duckett or something, I think is her name.
I don't follow the swimming, but the swimming was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really cool because it's like kind of quick too. So it's like, it's fun to like get in, you see like a couple things. And I saw some like track too. Yeah, man, I love the Olympics, man. I'm about it. I guess that like also in Japan because it's in Japan this year, I guess at the opening ceremony, they had like a bunch of games, like video game soundtracks that they played at the opening ceremony.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about Japan and like the athletes and that whole situation? I recently learned that, there are a lot of people in our society today who take medication on a daily basis just to like do things on a daily basis. Like medications like Ritalin or Adderall, which are amphetamines that are prescribed to them by professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And in Japan, this does not exist. This is completely illegal. Amphetamines are not like, you cannot use them. And so athletes that rely on their medication had a hard time competing at these Olympics. And they found themselves having to relearn how to do things that they are amazing at, because they take medication every day, and they couldn't because, they're trying to compete in Tokyo where it's illegal. Now,
Shit, I didn't realize that.
There's a really interesting history as to why this is illegal.
Oh, so is that kind of why like there's like so many mental health things kind of coming up? It's because people can't take their mental health pills?
Correct.
Oh, wow. I guess I didn't realize that aspect of it. I thought it was just like, oh, we're finally caring about people's mental health, which I guess we're not then. I guess we kind of are.
Come on, Blake. But we kind of are, because I know personally people that couldn't do college if it were not for these amphetamines. And
yeah, I mean, it's super important. Like, there's no shame in being medicated.
No, there's not. I digress back to, the Olympics and why, and Japanese history, and why this is the way it is. And it dates back to World War II and the kamikazes. And, the military would give them amphetamines so that they would, be in this mind state where they were willing to die for their nation and fly their plane into an enemy's plane.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I mean, that's kind of dark.
It is kind of dark history, but I think it's very interesting. I think it's important that we acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's important to know that happened and that existed. Also, yeah, like we've been trying to champion, mental health awareness since the beginning of this pod. So, like, seriously, like, no shame if you need to like reach out or anything. And like, I'm just gonna give a quick shout out. I mean, I'm not gonna say their name, but I know somebody personally that recently started getting help for mental health. Actually, I know 2 people. So that's awesome. That's really awesome that people are finally like losing the stigma and kind of doing that. So
yeah,
that's
I think it's really important that people lose that stigma, especially in the gaming community. I think there's a lot of stigma behind that. People want to be, these worry-free people. I mean, not these worry-free, these like perfect people that like can't really come to terms with like what their reality is. And, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and if you're listening to this pod episode, you know who you are, about, just that. Like, I honestly felt like he could use some professional help. And I brought it up to him in a really polite way, and he totally agreed. He was like, I definitely think I could. And, I definitely like recommend like approaching people about that. If you need help, definitely talk about it. And if you think someone else needs help, talk to them about it as well, and let them know why you think that.
Yeah, definitely, man. And like, it's hard to take that first step. And like, honestly, sometimes like if you're scared to do something, like I don't know, like sometimes like if you're scared, you just like can't really think the same. So like even just having a chat with somebody you're close with, like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe like seeing somebody for my mental health, but I just don't know how to go about it. I'm sure that they'd be willing to like lend an ear and maybe try and help you out. So
yeah,
like it's not something you have to go through alone, for sure. So yeah, the songs that they're playing is Dragon's Quest Roto's theme, Final Fantasy Victory Fanfare. You like the Roto theme?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that one. I really only recognize one of the ones on this list. But yes, they played Final Fantasy Victory's Fanfare, Tales of Series, Sony's theme, The Shepherd, Monster Hunter series, Proof of a Hero, Kingdom Hearts, Olympus Coliseum, Chrono Trigger, Fog's theme. That's the only one that I've heard. That's a good song. You should check that one out. Aces Combat, First Flight, Tales of Series, Royal Capital, Majestic Grandeur, Monster Hunter, Wind of Departure, Chrono Trigger, Robo's theme, Sonic the Hedgehog, Starlight Zone, Pro Evolution Soccer, eFootball Walk-On theme, Final Fantasy, the main theme. I've heard that one. Fantasy, Star Universe, Guardians, Kingdom Hearts, Heroes Fan.
I've heard that one. It's a good one.
I've heard that one too. It's a good one. Gradius 01, Act I-1, Nier, Song of the Ancients, Saga series, the Minister's Refrain, or Minstrel's Refrain Saga Series Medley 2016, and the Soul Calibur, The Brave New Stage of History. So that's pretty cool. Also, they have like a new little mascot that they unveiled this year for the Tokyo Olympics. And when they were giving out some of the golds, they gave out this little like plush anime that was like it was like kind of like a plush anime like mascot, and it was kind of cool. I was kind of about it. Hold on, let me see what that's called. It's it's pretty cool, man. It's honestly pretty cute. It's like white and blue checkers, or it might be white and purple checkers, and it's kind of got like the Olympic ring on the forehead or Olympic crest on the forehead with actually it looks like they have a guy and a girl, so that's cool. It's kind of like two. And let's see if I can pronounce this right. Miratawa. I think it's Miratawa. It's Mirataowa. Miratawa. Maybe. I don't know. I might be saying that wrong.
Miratawa.
Oh, I am. Yeah. It's Miratawa. Because it says its name is based on the Japanese word future. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Mirari and Eternity Tawa, according to Olympics design, and its body and head contains a blue indigo pattern resembling the Tokyo 2020 Games emblem. So that's super.
I see them.
Yeah, that's rad. But anyways, back to the video game part of this. It's called the Google game, as we're calling it, Doodle Champion Island of Games. And it's super cool, man. Do you kind of want to give us a breakdown of what you basically do in this?
So you basically get transported into this world as, this two-legged creature that kind of, for me, resembled kind of like a rabbit of sorts.
It's a cat. I think they do say later on it's like Lucky Cat is your name, which is kind of cool. No, you're fine, man. Because it doesn't, you can't really tell because it's kind of like pixelated. It's pretty cool, man. It's like a top-down.
It reminded me a lot of Pokemon. It was giving me a lot of Pokemon vibes. It was also giving me this anime called One Piece. A lot of the animation there is just really similar. I bet you the people who designed that watched One Piece and it influenced it heavily. I can confidently say that. But I digress. It's a really fun game, and you get to try all these different activities. I really got into the climbing, the swimming. I know Blake really got into the skating. There are some more activities that I didn't even get to explore. Maybe Blake can give you guys some more insight as to like what all the activities are.
Yeah, actually, man, to be completely honest, man, I was completely floored by how much stuff they had. And we kind of postponed recording just so I could beat it. But honestly, man, I think I probably put 4 to 5 hours into this game, which is crazy because it's like totally free from Google, and Google just did this,
Yeah.
Like they honestly, like I would have paid $5 for this. Yeah. Kind of like Brandon said, it's just like a top-down RPG. I guess I said that, but yeah, basically you kind of just get in and play all these little games. So there's 6 games, and kind of the whole thing is you're trying to become the champion and you're Lucky Cat. And it's like really cool because there's like this whole like area, and you can see like 6 statues, and like they're the 6 statues are the champions, and those champions are like embodied in the statues. And then as soon as you win the gold, like it's a statue of you. So at the end of it, you can have like just 6 statues of you, the Lucky Cat, which is kind of funny. And it has like a lot of humor. And to be completely honest, I noticed some like kind of like tropes. Like it kind of like calls out some video game stuff, which I thought was hilarious. Like an example is like I did like this side quest, and the person was like, "Oh man, if only this game had an inventory system, I could give you a reward."
Oh, I remember running into that. That was funny. Yeah, they had you pick up. He was like, I dropped my pen. And he was like, "Can you bring it back to me?" Yeah, you had to just go fetch it and bring it back to him. And he's like, "I would do something with this if this game had an inventory system." They kind of like broke the fourth wall there a bit.
Yeah, man, they did that a couple times. It was really funny. I really enjoyed that. There was this another one, like you walk into a shop and The shop, you're like, oh, like all this stuff looks super cool. If only I had money. And it was kind of just like, it was kind of silly because I guess we should kind of break down the mechanics of it and why this is funny. There's really only two buttons. Like it's really just the four directional pad, like the four arrows on your computer and the space bar. So I guess it's really five. There's only five inputs. Well, I guess technically six because you have your like the mouse and you can like click on the menu and like fast travel to places once you get the gold. But so yeah, it's basically I'm gonna say that's really just two inputs. Like it's really just the directional pad and the space bar. And it's like so minimalist, and like what they do with that is just so fun. And like one of the reasons that we're bringing this up is because it's like totally free. Like all you have to do is Google Doodle Champion Island Games, and you'll get like prompted with a thing that you can just click and play. And like for it being free and just like this Google Doodle, like holy cow, man, it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of content too. And like one of the things that I thought was super awesome, I guess before we get into that, where did you go first? Like after you got like free reign or whatever?
I went to yellow team. I didn't even really know what I was doing. I just approached the first person and I just kept pressing like space.
Oh yeah.
And then I ended up from there. I kind of just went to the first route that I found. And I believe the first game that I tried was actually pretty fun too. It was the running one.
Oh yeah.
You're racing. And
it's like the marathon and yeah.
Now that I think about it, they're all based off sports that are in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are six here. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up really quick.
And it's really fascinating how fun a game can be, a game that's so simple. I mean, like as you can see, Blake sunk like 4 or 5 hours into this, and and I can see why. It really is that fun. And it just shows you like if you have a good idea, it doesn't like the execution. Yes, it's important and it's a vital part of it. You can always improve it. Like the idea is where the beauty is, and you just gotta get after it. You gotta get after the idea.
Yeah, man. It's so simple and it really works, and it really works.
It just shows you like if Google really put their mind to it, dude, they can make something amazing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Another thing that like just on top of that, like this game only has like 2 inputs. Like this is basically like a GBA, man, like a Game Boy game. Like,
yeah.
Like imagine like using like your clicker. Like imagine you could get all of that from like a menu. That's one button, like start menu. Fast travel, you could do it the same way. Maybe the select button, and then you have A and B. So like you would literally have like an extra button to do more things with if this was made on like the Game Boy. Which like honestly, after playing this, I'm like, it just like the art style, man. Like I just loved it, and it's just like, man, like people just don't make these kind of games anymore. So I wish that there was more games like this. And I mean, our first console, both of us, was the Game Boy Advance. So like, I think that's kind of why it resonated with us so much, because there was a lot of like top-down RPGs and like this kind of art style, and it's just so simple, so intuitive. It was really honestly like very pleasant and fun. And like honestly, I kind of want to get into this a little bit because I did something totally different from Brandon right off the bat. But before I get into that, there are 7 games that you can do. There's an archery, water aerobics, skateboarding, marathon, rugby, table tennis, and climbing. So you just want to, because I know that you didn't play all of them, do you just want to kind of explain the ones you did play and I'll fill in the blanks?
Tennis, which is table tennis, right?
Yeah. Did you find the secret opponent in the table tennis?
Is that the guy with like he's like on his like leaf or whatever, he's levitating. He's like a really good. Yeah, I found him and I spanked him. I absolutely ruined his career.
That's actually really funny. And like, actually, let's just get into that right now because that was so funny. Just like that, like whole town, man. Like, because each town has their own vibe too. Like when you first pull up to this, like, I don't know if you finished the area, but like when you first pull up to this area, it's just like this like bamboo forest. And it's like just downpouring, and like the first NPC that you can talk to, they say like, yeah, this village is abandoned. Like oh gosh, what was it? I think that he was saying like yeah, just like the winds are just too strong here, and it's just raining all the time, and everybody left. And then you meet like another NPC, and he's like, yeah, this town's abandoned. We'd all really like to support our champion, but it's just raining and the wind's just too strong all the time. And then you like meet another NPC, and the other NPC is like, man, I tried to steal the champion's fan because he just uses it to play table tennis. And if he just switched from a fan to a normal paddle, like the wind would go away. And then you like talk to somebody else, and they're like, man, it hasn't stopped raining since this boy showed up. And you're like, what? Like, what is going on in this place? And basically, like, you can find this boy, and he's just like, hey, yeah, like, the rain follows me wherever I go. Like, I love rain. Like, I wanted to show it to the whole island, but this is the first place I came, and I lost my train ticket. And basically, like, you can go on, like, a fetch quest and find his train ticket, and, like, basically you go to the train station on, like, in the area where you win the skateboarding, and they're like, oh, we're fresh sold out, but I hear that the noodle bar is doing a promo. And you like go and talk to the noodle bar, and they're like, yeah, like we're doing this special right now. Buy 50 noodles, get 1 train ticket. And he's like, I don't have any money, and I can't eat 50 bowls of noodles. He's like, wait, are you Lucky the champion? And it's like, oh, I'll give you a special promo. You buy 1 train ticket, and I'll give you 50 bowls of noodles. And it's like, actually, I'll just give you the train ticket. We're so proud of you, Lucky. And you like get the train ticket and you take it back to him, and then he leaves and it stops raining, and you like go back and talk to the NPC, and he's like, oh, it stopped raining. If only we could get that fan away from the champion, maybe everyone would move back. Basically, you can just like go and talk to him. He's actually like sleeping in his dojo, which is another thing. Like every sport except for the marathon has a dojo, and you like go in and talk, or like most of them you can go in and talk to the champion, and they'll like give you tips, or there'll be like other NPCs, and like I think maybe in 1 or 2 of them you get like a side quest. But in this one, he's like sleeping and you can't talk to him, but like you get prompted, like you can interact with the fan, which is hanging on the wall, and it's like you try and steal it, and then it like wakes him up, and basically he's like, oh, I was just admiring it. Like you get like dialogue options, and basically you end up saying like, I'll trade it with you. I'll trade you for the fan. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like I guess also like this guy that's like a boss god at table tennis, he like has like an invisibility cloak too. So you have to find the invisibility cloak to trade with him for his fan. And then he like totally double crosses. He's like, I'm not gonna get rid of my fan. I'm the champion. And then like basically you get like prompted to say like dialogue, and it's like, hey, like all the villagers left because of the wind, and like they really want to see you, like they really want to support you and want you to play table tennis, but they all moved away because they couldn't stand the wind. He was like, what? That's it? He kind of just like tosses the fan away, and it's like, man, like he's like, I wish they would have just told me. Next time you should be more direct. It's just like kind of like little things like that. It's just really silly, and it has a lot of depth to it. But yeah, what were the other ones you played? You said climbing.
I believe the dancing one. Was there a dancing one?
Yeah, water aerobics. That one was cool.
Water aerobics, where I was there, that would remind me a lot of Rock Band.
Yeah, because it was kind of like 4 things coming down, and like you would have to like every like directional pad was like a move, and you had to like do it to the beat. That one was really cool. That one was fun.
And I had a good time with that one. I also played I mentioned the running one, right? The track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mentioned the track, the climbing, the water aerobics, ping pong. There's one more I played. Which one am I missing?
Archery?
No, it was not archery.
Rugby?
No, it was rugby.
Oh, was it skateboarding?
It was skateboarding.
Yes, sir.
Love that one. I was doing a bunch of tricks, doing a bunch of grinds. They had a lot of rails to grind on. They had a lot of ramps. It was cool. I liked skating a lot.
Yeah, that one was really fun. Honestly, so like when I first got to the island, I like kind of like walked around. I didn't even see that place with the statues where it like prompts you to get your team. Like I didn't really, I don't know how, but I just like must have walked past it, and I went right to the because there's like a sign that's like to Tanuki City, and once you go there, that's like where you do the skateboarding event. And I like just explored this like city. It's like the metropolis of this game, and it's really fun. It has like all kinds of things that like you can interact with most of them at some point, but you just kind of gotta like wait to get there, or like wait to be prompted for the side quest, which you get different side quests in each town. But yeah, man, the skateboarding was really cool. I really vibed with that one. Just like getting there and just like doing it, and then you can also like after doing it for a minute, you get like prompted to go to a second one, like a secret one, and it's cool, dude.
Yeah, I liked all the like little side stories that they had there. It's like all the different villages. I only got to do one of them. I didn't like really give the game as much TLC as Blake did. And that's, I mean, I'm going to take this opportunity to say that, Blake. I appreciate how much love you can give to these titles, man, because God knows I can't.
Hey, man, I was just fascinated by it, dude. I actually like just on that really quick. I want to talk about the like you get prompted, like what you get prompted when you join the like different teams. Actually, I took some screenshots. I want to see if I can find those. Also, did you talk to any of the Kappas?
Nope, don't even know.
So there's like these little birds around the island, and basically like is every time you talk to them, it's just like it just says Kappa. And it's just Kappa, and that's like all they say. And they kind of look like this dumb bird.
Oh, I spoke to that was one of the teams that you could pick.
Yeah, and it was just like Kappa, Kappa, Kappa. And I was like, what the heck is this, man? I'm like, I don't really get what this whole thing is.
I think they were trying to do like capper. So the capper is a person who's a liar. And it's a bird.
Oh.
It's a bird who just keeps calling you a liar. Liar,
Yeah.
liar, liar.
Yeah. It honestly, man, and then like, yeah, it was definitely that. Like, actually, I took some screenshots of it, but I'm gonna have to. Okay, yeah, I got it. So I like, there's just like these birds like across the whole island, and they just say Kappa, and it's just like you're like, is that really all it is? Like, this is so not interesting. And then when you go to join the team, it's literally like Kappa, Kappa, Kappa. And like, I was like, I don't really know. Like, this seems like the least interesting out of them. Like, I don't really want to join it. I hadn't really decided which one I wanted to join. And then I found this one Kappa. He was just like, it was kind of like by the climbing area. And he was just sitting there. And I like went to talk to him. And I was like, maybe this one will be different. And it totally was. And I just like, Brandon, like, it just like cracked me up. So I'll read that to you right now. So like every other bird says Kappa. And then I like clicked on this one, and this guy prompts me, and he says, my brothers sit by content in ignorance, and yet I, the smart Kappa, must carry the burden of my intelligence alone. And I'm like, what? And then it just like keeps going, man. And he says, the simple Kappa knows not the difficulties of intellect, the burden of existential dread. And he says, I stare out at the vast abyss in front of me and wonder, is this really all there is? Surely, it can't be this simple. And then he says, but listen to me going on about nothing. Please enjoy your games. You've no idea how lucky you really are. And I was like, what the heck is this, man? And I was like, that's just weird. I guess there's like one smart Kappa and a bunch of dumb ones. And then I actually, so this is in the teams, like this is Team Green, and there's Team Red. Also, I just found another screenshot. There's like this guy in this, like, I don't even remember which town it is, but like you go and talk to this NPC, and he literally said, go away, I'm allergic to cats. And like, I talked to him so many times, like he says the same thing every time.
I said he doesn't switch up like the dialogue.
Doesn't, man. Okay.
You're just hoping there's a bug.
I was. So Team Yellow, which I think is what, did you say you ended up joining Team Yellow?
Yeah.
So this is the dialogue for if you want to join Team Yellow. I'm an Inari, the trickster fox mascot of Team Yellow. Life's just more fun if you're sneaky. So I was probably gonna get that one just because I was like, I like that. It had kind of like Loki vibes, like a little bit of chaos, you know? A little bit of chaos is a good thing.
Yeah.
The Kappa one just says Kappa, and then I think it just says Kappa, 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 Kappa. Kappa, Kappa, Kappa. And I was like, nah, I'm good, man.
Maybe it's Morse code for something.
Well, and then I'll get to it in a sec. And then the blue says, hello, are you strong enough to join Team Blue? And I was like, nah, I'm good, man. Oh, hold on. Actually, he said, this is what Team Blue said. That was the second part of it. I am Ushi, the strong bull mascot of Team Blue. Hard work is the only path to victory. Can you keep up? So that's Team Blue. And Team Red is, I'm Karasu, the noble crow mascot of Team Red. Knowledge is the only path to victory. And this dude looked like malicious. Like all the crows, they literally have like kind of like us like red aura kind of coming off of them. So that one intrigued me. I was kind of in between Team Red and Team Yellow. But I accidentally, like by accident, joined the Kappa one because I was like just going. I kind of like Brandon. I was just going too fast, and I accidentally joined it, and I was like, no. But then I was like, you know what? Honestly, like this is probably for the best. Like
Kappa,
man. And then like later on, dude, I like straight up found their like secret base, which like everyone has a secret base, like every team. And like the guy prompts me and says Kappa, and I'm like, Jesus, like come on. And then it's like, oh, hey, you're Team Green. We don't have to speak in code now. Like, we can talk normal. And it's like, come on in. And then, like, you get inside, and they just, like, all talk super normal. And it was actually really fun, interesting. And I was like, all right, like, that's rewarding. Like, I'm about that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So the Kappas is Morse code.
It was, man. They were just, like, oh, they're trying to keep you out, man. If I guess maybe you have to be like impulsive to get the.
Dude, that's so funny. Like you actually joined a frat, and then like the Kappa is like where you were naturally attracted to, you, man.
I guess, man. But yeah, it was a good time. I actually like they also like there's straight up a leaderboard also in this game, which there'll be leaderboards like all over, and you can check and like see which team is winning. And Team Green, man, Team Kappa, we are last place by a long shot. Like at least I think we have at least like half of the team has. So yeah, you guys I mean, like it's like the least interesting out of all of them, man. But then it gets interesting later on. But like I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I guess I could find the leader score, man. I guess I could do it, and just I'm sure that there's one around here. Let me just go to the game really quick.
Kappa.
Yeah. But I'm actually where I'm at right now is I'm in the village where they have the, oh man, what's it called? The water aerobics. Okay, ooh. I found the leaderboard. So red is winning with 23 million. Yellow is in second place with 15 million. Blue has 13 million. And Team Green has 10 million, man. So we are 13 million, which is an entire team behind the leaders.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's bad. You can tell that is the least popular by far. But did you do the side quest in the water aerobic area? Did you do any of those?
No.
Oh,
did you?
Man, I did. So like if you like there's a couple. I'll just go into like one of them really quick. It's like you kind of like walk into the dojo and it's kind of spooky, and like you kind of see there's like kind of like a shrine, but you can't really like interact with it. And it's kind of like you're like, oh, this is kind of spooky because it's like empty, but you can kind of like see a shrine. And then you go to like the next one, and it's kind of like the same thing. And then I went to a third one, and there's like literally a ghost in there. And I talked to this ghost, and the ghost said, like, I wrote this letter to my son, and I died before I could send it off to him. I haven't seen him. Like, I need to know if he's okay. I need to know if he's happy. Like, can you help me find peace? And I was like, what? Like, are you serious? And I she told me where the letter was. I went and found the letter, delivered it to her son, and the son just said, I'm so happy. So basically the son ended up living in an ethereal underwater castle, which is like the quote unquote dojo for the water aerobics people.
Okay.
And he's like, if you like go and talk to the other NPCs in the castle, they're like, what's this weird human doing here? Which Which all the other ones were like, yeah, we just love dancing, like we love the beat, like I'm just so happy. And like another one's like, I hope they play my favorite song tonight. And one of them's like, what's this weird human doing here? Because they're all like fish. And
Right.
I gave the letter to the guy, and he said, oh, like I really miss my mom. Like I'm so happy that she wrote this letter. Like, can you tell her that I'm like really happy here where I'm at, and that I miss her? And I like went and delivered the message to the mom, and she's like, oh, like, thank you so much. Like I'm so happy that he's happy and that he like still thinks of me. Like I can finally be at peace. And the ghost like disappears. I was like, what? Like this is crazy. From like a free like RPG about the Olympics by Google. Like it's got 2 buttons. Hey man, I was really blown away by that. There was a couple others too. I won't get in there, just so you can keep it kind of fresh. But it's really beautiful, man. Like this whole world, and yeah, I was really impressed by it, to say the least.
Me too, man. I thought it was like really well done. The designers executed well. They gave us a lot, and I'm really grateful for your input there, because there was just so much that I kind of like let slip through the cracks, and there's definitely a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah, you really have to like go into it, man. And I like straight up, like I probably never would have played this without the podcast, and I'm just so happy that I checked it out, because it was really like a short thing. I was in and out, and it was really fun just to see like what you can do with 2 buttons, really. Like that's it. Like it's probably one of the most accessible things like I've ever played. And also like on the accessibility thing, like just about half the characters in this like RPG had like disabilities, and like it didn't stop them at all. Like they were still killing it. So like a lot of like, the one that I struggled the most with was the marathon one. And I constantly kept getting beat by somebody in a wheelchair. I mean, like it's a video game, you know, but like they were faster because they had wheels, man. So, I mean, it was just kind of things like that I thought were just awesome and really cool. But I guess before we move on, I just want to say, dude, I really wish that we had more games like this, man. I wish that there were more like kind of like chill, like GBA kind of style games. And I wish that, I don't know, man. And I almost want to say I'd take a couple of these over like a AAA studio. Like, hey man, like
really,
like, I don't know, man, just like think about it. Like what if they did like Google made this for free? Like I'm sure that it cannot be that hard to make things like this, especially like how simple it was. Like, and it really was very simple. Like they didn't have money, didn't have inventory, and they only, I don't know, I think they made the most of it. They made jokes about it, and like I still had a good time. And I don't know, man, I think it'd be cool. Like I'd pay $5 for something like this. Like a AAA studio, if they like, hey, like instead of 5 hours, like, hey, this is like a 10-hour thing. Like it's really simple, but like it's like pixel art style. I don't know, man. I'd probably spend some money to check something like that out.
I definitely can see that. You know, I can see you doing that. I can't say the same for myself.
Maybe I'm just away from my PS5 right now. I forget how good it is.
Hey man, not to say like, hey, I'm, you know, the AAA title is the experience I'm willing to pay for it. Like honestly, at this point, I'm at a point with gaming where it's like really difficult to get me to invest in a game. But most of the time it's a AAA title, and that's because of marketing. You know, marketing is so powerful.
Do you think it's just because you see those games? Like you see them and you're like, oh, I want to play that? Or if it's like, I can tell like it's going to be quality because of the marketing?
More so I'm conditioned to thinking that those experiences are going to like yield like the most fun, when really like games like this can give you like just the same amount as fun. You know, like I was having a really good time with like the climbing aspect of things like we were talking about. And, you know, it was totally free. And sometimes I'll buy like a AAA title and I won't even touch it, you know, and I bought it just because like I really like the visuals and like the marketing. And I mean, I'll play it and I just won't play it again because it didn't catch my eye like that. But there are games like this where like, shoot, I might go back and play this Doodle game if I'm, at work and like on a Google browser. It's so accessible. It's going to be fun. There's a high score to beat.
Yeah. I think it saves like your browser stuff. So like I like closed out of it like once or twice and it like, yeah, it just like it knew where I was at and stuff. But yeah, man, like what you were saying on that like AAA stuff, dude. Do you think that like, I don't know, like, do you think knowing that about yourself, do you think you're gonna like try and check different things out, or think you're gonna still check
Definitely. I think I'm gonna try and keep my mind open. There's just so much out there that hasn't been filtered through. And I feel like
so many games out there. There's an endless amount of games out there.
I feel like it's because of what you're mentioning right here. It's like it's the same thing that's happening in other aspects of businesses where like people don't go to the mom and pop shop. They'd rather go to Costco where the cost is low. It's just like this thing of like convenience rather than like actually discovering something, actually getting to know like this creator, like, like Heart Machine Studios, where like you actually get to learn about Alex Preston.
Yeah, I think that's
and you actually get to learn. You actually get to learn about this dude, and then you play through the game, and you get to see like how his path in life kind of like transfers to like the amount of effort and work he puts into something. And man, that game is really a gem. And
yeah, dude. Maybe you should, if you like that like human connection, man, maybe you should try checking out like they have like podcasts out there, which I guess I'll just plug right here. So like if you, dear listener, if you want to check them out too, I think I got to pull them up on my phone really quick, but there's like 2 podcasts that I know of, and they like basically they just like interview the creators, and that's like one way that like after like listening to them talk and you kind of like hear their like story and like their passions, like I've definitely like that's how I picked up Hyper Light Drifter, and I actually just did the same for another title that I guess I'll talk about here in a second. It's called The Game Maker's Notebook, and I'll put a link to their show in the description. It's the Academy of Interactive Arts and Science, The Game Maker's Notebook. And I think if you just search The Game Maker's Notebook, I think it's going to pop up. And they do like all kinds of things. Like their top 3 right now, like their last 3 episodes are Insomniac Games founder Ted Price, Blizzard Entertainment president J. Allen Brack, which, wow, that happened like right. I mean, like we were recording this on August 3rd and they had like a big lawsuit come to light recently. So that might be interesting to listen to that one. Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart, the creative director. And like I'm really enjoying that game. I haven't played in a bit because I've been away from my box, but as soon as I finish playing that, I'm totally going to check this out. And yeah, they also like just so many others like games. Like if you like a game, like it's probably on there. And there's another one. Oh man, this is the one that we talked about with Alex Preston. I think that's called The Humans Who Make Video Games. Let me see. Yeah, it's The Humans Who Make Games, or Humans Who Make Games. That's that podcast. You should check that out, man, because just having that connection to the game, it's like it's kind of special to like have that, and then also like just to like kind of hear that you kind of want to check it out more. Like I was going to talk about this on the next episode, but I can talk about it now. I just got this indie game called Celeste because on one of these they interviewed the maker of Celeste they interview the person that does the music for Celeste. Have you heard of the Celeste indie game?
No.
Oh man, dude. I just gotta say, like, okay, it's like a platformer and it is incredibly hard. Like the reason I wanted to check this game out, but I was like, I am not really like, I have a hard time making it through Mario platformers. So I'm like, I'm probably not going to be able to make it through this. But then I heard that they had an accessibility option that literally gives you infinite jumps and makes you invincible. And I was like, sign me up. I'm all in. Like, I know, like, I know this sounds kind of cheesy, man, but I mean, because I like hard games, but I do not like banging my head against the wall in the platformer. Like I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like those kind of games. And that, like, I've heard so many things about how the music is just so incredible, and I have to say it really is. And I guess I'll talk a little bit more about it later, like I had planned to. But I like listened to the podcast of, like, where he talked about his like whole journey through the industry and how, I don't know, man, it just that human connection, because he like spent like I think like a whole year like trying to get into the industry, and he was like in the final callbacks to like compose for some studios, and it just like never worked out, and he was finally like, fuck it, I'm giving up. I'm not like giving up in a way, but he's like, I'm just gonna move on to something else in the industry. And he did that, and he just like kind of like naturally worked his way up to a position where they're like, hey, like we need somebody to make music, and he's like, boom, I can do that. And he did it. And then he like did it for that company, and then like freelanced out with this indie called Celeste. And oh my gosh, man, the music on that, like I don't really know how to say this, but it like the music of the game just matches with the environment so well, and it just like you feel the whole thing. And it's like an emotional story too. Like it really is like a roller coaster, and just like it really hits on some heavy themes, and you feel that as you're just doing these stupid platform puzzles, and it just matches so well. Like,
right.
I don't know, like the like music is such a raw art form, and it really just like it can grab you,
music,
you know?
Music is emotion, man. Music is like, I always think about music as like the human, it's like an encapsulation of the human spirit, you know?
It's one of like the raw art forms. Like, cause I think like I heard this from somebody else and they said it better than me, but there's like the like music, like when you create music, like you're creating something, like that's a raw art form. Like you are pressing onto that. And then it's like if you draw or if you create sculpture, like that is a raw form. Whereas like movies, it has like a bunch of other things and it's like a complex art form. But it's not like the basis, like it's not a raw art form. Like dance, for example, is like a raw art form, you know.
Right.
But what were you saying? It's like an encapsulation of
the human spirit. Yeah. It's like capturing like who that human was. You can kind of get an idea of who that person is through music, you know, and then the type of stuff that they put out there.
And I don't know if we've ever really talked about this on the pod, but I'm a huge fan of like, I guess it's classical music. Like I've just heard some stuff and it just like, it can really make you feel, you know?
Yeah, no, classical music is powerful, dude. Powerful. Yeah. And they were tapped into some stuff where like the frequencies were like, dude, like music back then was taken so seriously to the point where it got mathematical. And like music, there's math behind the composition of notes and the arrangement of these sounds. And that's why to your brain, you listen to it and it literally like helps your brain, just those frequencies and like the complexities that are in it, like the intricacies of it in ways you just wouldn't understand. Because a lot of the music today is like emotion and like it makes you feel something. But like music back then, I feel like classical music was more so about like empowering your brain, like making you think and like.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of the music today. It's like you feel things, but it's about our environment instead of like you just feel things because you feel things, you know?
Yep.
And yeah, dude, the Celeste, the audio track of Celeste really kind of feels that way. Cause like, I don't know, it's like an orchestral and I don't know, it just vibes so heavy with like the environment of where the game's at, and two, the story of the game. And like, honestly, like
right.
I would never be able to have played that if it didn't have like, honestly, like seriously, it probably would have taken me 12 to 100 hours to get to the point I'm at in this game, because I was able to make myself invincible and give myself infinite jumps. And that just, I really wanted to experience it for the story and the music. And like I said, I'm not really a big platform guy, but man, holy cow. It really is, dude. It's something. And like, if you're listening to this right now, dear listener, like go listen to the Celeste soundtrack, because just, man, it's probably one of the best gaming soundtracks I've ever heard.
Dude, you actually pay attention a lot to music in games. Something I've noticed. So I definitely will take your word for it when you say it's the best one, man. That's high praise.
One of the best, and it's so funny that we just like ended up having to talk about this stuff because I really wanted to talk about this other game that is like all about music, which I don't know. I didn't plan on talking about this, but let's just jump right into this other game, man. So basically, to give you guys some context, before recording this, we published our first YouTube video, which is the Pathless, and in that, it features an Apple Arcade game or an Apple Arcade PS5 exclusive called the Pathless. And right. When we talked about the Pathless originally in Apple Arcade, I kind of said, I was like, hey, like this is probably one of the best games on Apple Arcade. And both Brandon and myself were kind of underwhelmed with Apple Arcade's library, and we were kind of just like not into it. And I think like you cut your subscription, Brandon. Is that right?
I did.
Yeah.
I had no need for it. I mean, they were games that were fun, and I'm sure there were things. If I had spent more time with it, I would have found games that I would have felt the need to pay for the subscription for. But it's just like when you have all of these other titles, and like we were talking about AAA titles, and just other things that I want to check out, just for myself, and also for the pod. The Apple Arcade just didn't seem like that fruitful of an environment. But I mean, Blake was able to find a pretty good title there.
Well, what I'm gonna say on that is I was really on the same boat, man. And I was about to cancel my subscription, and I just kind of like went on one day and I realized that they had added a ton of games, man. They're like really dropping more and more. And I'm probably gonna cancel it soon, but I holding out for like one or two more. But another thing, like on the Apple Arcade thing, like it's $5 a month, and like there are free games out there that are really good. Like this last episode that we did, Pokemon Go. I mean, that's a free game. Like we both put some money into it, but like you can play that for free and have a blast.
Yep.
So one of the games that I picked up that I actually I had downloaded this originally, like I'd heard it was good. This was actually downloaded on my phone at the same time as the Pathless, but I just hadn't had a chance to get to it. And that's called Sayonara Wild Hearts. And I feel like you've probably heard of it. Have you heard of this one, Brandon?
Sayonara Wild Hearts. I have not. And if I had heard of it, I would have remembered that.
Yeah, dude, it's a very memorable title, Sayonara Wild Hearts. And it really comes out strong, man. So basically I was like, all right, I was about to cancel my Apple Arcade subscription. And I was like, I swore to myself I was going to check this one game out. Right. And I was like, it was actually funny enough. I was on a plane, which I'm just going to say this. Do not play Sayonara Wild Hearts on a plane. Your ass will get motion sick. But I started playing it, and dude, it just like comes out so strong. Like it's just like this like woman's voice is just saying like, oh God, I almost just want to play it. I'm just gonna do it, man.
On the pod?
I'm just gonna play it on the pod. I'm gonna put it up to my
on
speaker.
The pod, he's gonna play it, guys, for you live.
This is like the opening of like what happens when you open the app.
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Sayonara Wild Hearts. Oh damn it! I don't have my volume on. I gotta redo it. I gotta close out the app. Do it again. All right, let's
listen closely.
You should be able to hear it, no problem. Can you hear that music?
Not long ago, in a town much like yours, there was a young woman who was very happy. Until one day her heart broke so violently that her sorrow echoed through space and time. So our saga begins tonight, yet eons ago, just here, yet light years away.
So yeah, that's it, man. That's
It plays that every time you open the
every
app.
time you open the app.
You have to listen to that every single time.
Hey man, it puts you right in the mood to play Sayonara Wild Hearts, man. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. And
But
this is a free game on.
well, you have to pay for Apple Arcade, but yeah, they also have it on like Switch and other platforms.
That's awesome.
Oh man, the music in this one is really incredible. But yeah, so they just like they come in with that opening, and then like once you start. Oh, actually, I have some notes. I'm gonna look at my notes. It's been a while since I played it, but basically the first thing I have on my notes is holy shit, man. That's all I gotta say. Man, this is like what I have. I'm gonna candidly read from my notes because I don't really remember exactly what I had. Oh my gosh, I have like 4 paragraphs here. Okay.
Oh.
It's everything you want in a mobile game. That's what I can't read this right now, man. I can't do this. I'm gonna read it in my head.
This is too much right now.
No, but for real though, like it's like so cool. Like it's all about like movement along with like the music, and like it's just an ethereal story, man.
I mean, it sounds like a hell of a title with a name like that, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Like it's so captivating. I'm intrigued. I need to figure out what this is.
Yeah, so it's like basically like on the phone when you play with mobile, like it's all about touch controls, and it's all about movement, man. You have to you have to play with headphones because of the sound design and like the music. Like it's such an experience. Like after I like played this, like after I beat it, like I had this the album is on Spotify, and straight up, man, I had it like on repeat for like a couple of days. Like I was definitely jamming to this. And
you were jamming to the intro on repeat?
Oh no, like the whole album. The album.
Imagine. No, I gotta hear that album now. Because I could, just judging from the intro, I could tell that album goes hard.
Well, so here's the thing, man. There are like 23 levels, and each level has like their own kind of song. You just like play through the song. So basically you play as like a heartbroken woman, and you have to fix the rhythm and time of the universe as you battle through music and movement. And like the art style, like I really vibe with, man. Like the first level, like you kind of like get pulled out of your like apartment through this like cosmic force, and you're just like writing sound bars on a longboard, and it's so vibey, man.
You sound like the Silver Surfer from Marvel.
You kind of are like the Silver Surfer a little bit. And like you honestly, you ride like different vehicles throughout like the game. And like the second game, like you like go through a portal and like your longboard gets lost, and like a tarot card pops up, and like you like literally surf on the tarot card through, and like as the beat's going on, and oh my gosh, it is just like epic. And it's like so intuitive because it's just like you're just moving the character in your finger across the screen, across like the sound bars. Right. And you're like literally surfing. And holy shit, man, it's so cool. Occasionally, like it'll like shift perspective, and like it's so cool. And that happens is you have to like tap to like the rhythm. And like remember how like in Florence, like it was just like so intuitive to like you just knew what to do. Like you just know what to do with this on like the touch controls. And it's just insane, man. It was such a pleasant
design.
Yeah, it was like seriously such a pleasant experience. And they also like they have like this thing where it's like if you were like dying once or twice, like it'll say like, do you want to skip this part? And like you can if you want to. I played the whole thing because I was like just having so much fun. I was like, I have to experience all of it. I played the whole thing without like skipping. Like I was like, I'll like there was a hard part, and I was like, I'm gonna do the hard part. Like just let me do it. And like there's like this one like, oh man, like you get to ride this motorcycle, like you just ride different, like you basically ride sound waves in different like vehicles basically. And like in one of the sound waves, like you're battling like so like basically the people that you are battling is like you're doing like dance battles, but it's like they're the people that like stole time, I guess, or like I guess they stole, I don't know, they stole the rhythm of the universe. So like there's like the music, and I think it's kind of like supposed to represent the music and sound waves of like the universe, but it's like they have that inside a city. So it's like imagine like somebody stole like rhythm like let's just say there's like a timeline and it's like all rhythm, and you just took a chunk of it and you made a city out of it, and like that's one of like the levels. And like actually you ride like a motorcycle in that one, and oh my gosh, it is just so satisfying. Like, cause like it's like a little cutscene, and it's like your person like falls off their like, or like jumps off their tarot card that they're riding, and they like plop down on this motorcycle, and like as like the beat's going, they just like wrench the handlebar, and like the tires like are squealing, and it's just like as the beat's going, like you just do like the sick donut on the motorcycle. Oh my gosh, man. And then you just like have to like basically like follow these people, like, and like do the rhythm, like follow the movements of the song through this level, and then you have to do like a dance battle at the end, and it's cool, man. There's also like one level in a forest, and the sound, this like the album is incredible, so you should definitely check it out.
You heard it first, guys. Apple Arcade, check it out.
Yeah, if you have Apple Arcade, or if you have like a free thing for Apple Arcade, like absolutely check this out. And I think like this is like $20 on Steam. So like,
yeah, I was just about to say, if you want to get it on Steam, Switch, probably even like Xbox, PlayStation, you gotta check if it's on there.
Yeah, and I think like I actually, like, I shit you not, man, I was at a Best Buy and they had this game for Switch and it was $60. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah. Definitely play it on Apple Arcade, especially because it feels so good to play it on a phone. I think it was originally for phones, but maybe not. And man, just about this game, and like the sound design and the music, man, whew, it's so cool. It's so good. I have like a couple other Apple Arcade games I'm going to check out. Actually, like they just added a couple that I think I might make a YouTube video about one of them. But one of them is called Skate City, and it's just like a skating game. And that one's really rad. I've got 4 cities, and I just unlocked all 4 cities, and then I realized that they're like the currency that you can unlock the cities with, you can also buy like customizations and stuff, and that's really cool. Like you can go through like Tokyo, Amsterdam, like Los Angeles. Like it's just cool to like kind of do that kind of stuff. Right. And there's another one that I'm gonna check out. It's kind of like a movement game too, and I think you just kind of like you're skiing down like sand dunes and stuff. So I'm excited to check that one out. That one's called The Lost City. If you're interested.
I like the sound of that one. Skiing down sand dunes.
Yeah, it looks super cool.
Tomb Raider vibes.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's also kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's really kind of just, it looks like just like honestly, kind of like a downhill jam kind of thing too, but it's like you don't look at it like in third person. Like it's kind of like you see it from afar. Kind of like that one game where you like hold the button and like the car would like go up a mountain kind of thing. Like you're going down and you're skiing. So I haven't checked that one out yet, but I'm really excited to. Oh, they also just added this like pinball game that I'm checking out. And Jetpack Joyride, baby, it's on Apple Arcade. So
hey, that's a throwback.
It's gonna be fun to check that one out because there's like no microtransactions, and like I heard that, I mean, they added like some other games like this too, but like Angry Birds is on Apple Arcade, and like people are just saying that it's like really, it makes it like a totally different game when there's like no microtransactions, like no ads, like anything like that. Like it's just so much fun. So it'd be cool to check that one out. Do you want to talk about anything else? Do you want to talk about 2K, or do you want to end this up?
I think I'm good with ending it up, man. You got some good news. Threw some good news in there. We're gonna have the P5 coming soon. Gonna be playing some new titles for you guys. Hopefully, streaming. Gonna get into that for you guys. Sticky Buttons podcast streams coming soon. And yeah, man, stay tuned to our YouTube, our Patreon. Share that out.
Really quick, thank you to those who have supported us on Patreon. We really appreciate that. And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that for as little as $1. And I don't know, we're happy with the support that we have, but I mean, like obviously, like if you can help us out and you like the show, like that would mean the world to us. And
yeah, it really would.
You can support us for as little as $1. And we had a lot of music. This was a music heavy episode, man. I wonder. Yeah. I'm gonna put some links down in the description for you guys. And yeah, I don't know. I might see if we can throw some of this music in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Or the music from the game in the podcast.
Let's see if we can do that and not get copyrighted.
Yeah, maybe we could. I don't know. We said positive things. Maybe they'll just be like, "Oh, they were really nice." And
they were really nice, and they promoted our stuff.
And we're handsome too. So I mean,
handsome,
it's a win-win.
We have amazing voices. And for $1 a month, you can keep these voices, nice and pay, help us out, man. Keep hearing us.
Patreon. I guess, man, I'll just do another little plug real quick. If you support us on Patreon, we do a bonus episode every month. This past month we did Loki, and we're still deciding what we're gonna do for August. And yeah, we do pay for the show out of pocket, and we are trying to get it to a point where we can just have the Patreon support the editing cost. And if we can get to that is like a milestone that we don't really want to say, but
yeah,
if it can get to that, we might be doing something that everyone can access. It might be something cool. It might be something Minecraft related. If you want to put 2 and 2 together, maybe. But we just appreciate it if you could support us. And follow us at our links, Instagram, YouTube, and share it with a friend. Seriously, that's probably the most important. You don't have to do all those other things if you share it with a friend.
Yeah.
Feel free to share it with the buddy that you think would enjoy it. And thanks so much. Have a great one, everybody. I think that's it from us.
Peace in the streets.